Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would chat with you guys and gals about something that I see a lot of online, and it is very much, it's a straw man argument that people use to support strange dietary practices and to tell people not to eat certain whole foods. And I want to be clear, I'm very undogmatic. I like different approaches. I have clients who do high carb, low fat, who do high fat, low carb. I use the different approaches, and there's different reasons why we might want to do those things. But the thing is, when it comes to this topic, people want to try to promote extreme weird versions of low carb diets by always pointing out this food or that turns into sugar. It's like, oh, it's all just sugar. It turns into sugar. And they act like this is a meaningful statement, right? To say, oh, well, just potatoes turn into sugar, bread turns into sugar, fruit turns into sugar. It's all sugar. It's the same thing. But why do we care about sugar? Like, people have taken that term and made it into a bad thing. So if we use their logic, don't eat protein because it turns to sugar. Right? So we shouldn't eat meat either. Shouldn't drink a protein shake. You need to live on nothing but oil. That is what they're saying if you look at it in practice. Because like 50% of the protein you eat is going to turn into glucose at some point. Especially if you eat large amounts. In fact, it will become your primary source. If you eat enough fat, even it turns into sugar. What? Yeah, off of each gram of fat has around 9 calories. Your body is capable of, if it's forced to extract glucose from the glycerol backing through a process and get maybe about 1 calorie. It's about a fourth a gram of carbohydrate out of each gram of fat. Okay, so if we're going to use that logic, even fat turns to sugar a little bit. All right, our concern is not sugar. Our concern is not blood sugar. This is not what we're worried about. It's a straw man. When we're talking about sugar, and I really wish people would just say this, and the confusion is people are confusing the layman term sugar with the biological term sugar. Sugar, the layman term, is bad because to a layman, sugar means sucrose, right? When we think of sugar, table sugar. So when you see table sugar, you see sugar in the ingredient list, they mean table sugar. The chemical name of that is sucrose, which is 50% fructose, 50% glucose. Yes, that is something we need to be concerned about, but it's not because it's a sugar. It's a specific substance, not a category. But because we hear that, oh, sugar bad, all sugar bad, well, you die without sugar. You die without sugar. In fact, people on really low carb diets sometimes have higher blood fasting glucose than people on high carb diets. So that's not going to solve it. You see the issue there? Your concern is not some blood sugar. Your concern is the fructose. So when we talk about the metabolic concerns of sugar, it's not because we get an insulin response from carbohydrate. Insulin response is great for muscle, and it doesn't cause problems with fat gain in a healthy person. Like, that's really, we're dealing with people with metabolic issues, and if you just fix those metabolic issues by lifting weights and eating a healthy diet, then those concerns go away. So our concern is not blood sugar. It's not glucose. It's not your blood glucose, which is what this stuff turns into. Our concern is fructose reaching your bloodstream. And notice I said reaching the bloodstream and then reaching the liver. Like, this is where our concerns with sugar are, because it creates metabolic dysfunction. Right? Fructose is generally a mild poison to most of the cells in your body. Most of them cannot burn it. So your body, because we have had access to fructose for millions and billions of years, our bodies have adapted to turning it into something useful in small amounts we find in nature, like what's found in fruit, for example. Okay? Your gut flora ferments it, turns it into glucose, makes it perfectly safe. It's the refined fructose that's hitting your bloodstream in the upper intestine that gets in the bloodstream. You have enzymes to deal with some of it. Again, we've evolved to have these things. I'm not even going to argue that you're going to have people who are like, I don't believe in that. Okay, fine. So we've been created to have these defaults. All right. The result is the same. You have the enzymes. Yay. So let's come over to the practical. You have the enzymes, but when you can't get rid of it and you can't convert it into glucose, it goes to your liver. Your liver is then forced to process it similar to alcohol. It's a process it goes through to convert it to glucose, but it puts a load on your liver. Your liver has to detoxify it. It can elevate triglycerides. It can create fatty liver. It creates insulin resistance. Okay, our concern is not insulin. Our concern is insulin resistance. People who have an excessive insulin response because they don't process insulin correctly. They're not sensitive to it. They're insensitive. All right, large amounts of fructose, particularly reaching the liver and the organs, can contribute massively to insulin resistance. All right, this is a problem. This is absolutely a problem. This is why we're concerned with the sugar. So when people are saying this turns to sugar, but it's turning into glucose, your blood sugar, which we have to have. And again, people even on nearly zero carb diets don't have low glucose. In fact, they oftentimes have high glucose. That's been noted. And they're just turning their protein that they eat into it. So the protein turns into sugar. But we're not concerned with it. See, when I say that, people say, oh no, but no, you die without it. You have to have it. You have to have it. You can't function without it, and without significant amounts of it, you can't exercise, work out, do any of these things. You won't gain muscle, right? No, we need glucose. We need sugar. But they're not turning into fructose in your bloodstream. That is the problem. That is what we are worried about. We are worried about the specific sugar, fructose, not glucose. We handle glucose really well. So when they make this argument, it's like they're telling the truth. It does turn into a sugar. It turns into glucose. Yes. But it's not a problem. And in fact, you don't even see high blood sugar in athletic people who eat huge amounts of carbohydrates. They have normal, regular fasting blood sugar. Their body handles it. They use it up as fuel, problem solved. Metabolically healthy people can eat enormous amounts of carbohydrates and still have sometimes low blood sugar because they process it really fast. Okay? Understand this? Your blood sugar levels are about metabolic function in your body or dysfunction. All right? The fructose will affect that, though. So that's the sugar we're worried about. Stop worrying about all sugars. We care about fructose, and we don't care about the fructose that goes into your mouth because some of that, and some forms of it, gets turned into glucose before it reaches the bloodstream. Our concern is large amounts of fructose reaching the bloodstream as fructose. That's only one specific type of sugar, and this is where all of our fears of sugar come from, of refined sugars. It's from this one specific sugar. And we overdose on it in America. Yes, it's a problem. Table sugar, high fructose corn syrup, honey. Those are your three sources. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.